Tension and drama filled the state capitol on the first day of Ken Paxton's impeachment trial. This morning, it continues.
Paxton, only the third state official to be impeached since Texas became a state in 1845.
Now, this morning, we are expected to hear from more witnesses. Jason Wheeler breaks it all down from Austin.
Yesterday, 6 witnesses were sworn in. We were expecting that we might hear from some or all of them, but we only heard partial testimony from one of them because the senators who are acting as jurors had so much other business to get to as well. But even with just that partial testimony from one witness, we're starting to get a good idea already of where the prosecution is headed with its case.
Are you a rhino? Am I a rhino?
As the first witness took the stand, the prosecution made clear he's not a Republican in name only.
I'm certainly far from right of center. I was nominated by President Trump to be a federal judge. I would describe myself as an evangelical Christian.
This was the top deputy Ken Paxton had personally recruited and hired, who for years loved the boss he worked for, he says, until he and his colleagues kept seeing what prosecutors call
of Mr. Paxton's slow creep of corruption.
Even then, Jeff Mateer says he tried to help guide Paxton.
I urged him not to have any further dealings with Nate Paul.
But eventually, prosecutors say it got to be too much, that in an effort to help a political donor friend named Nate Paul, Ken Paxton repeatedly misused his office.
Mr. Paxton turned the keys of the Office of Attorney General over to Nate Paul.
Mateer ended up resigning, and with 7 other members of Paxton's management team reported Paxton's actions to law enforcement. Even still, the defense of the now suspended AG says those employees were rogue and wrong.
Ken Paxton gave nothing of significance to Nate Paul.
Ken Paxton did get some good news on day 1 of the trial. He can't be forced to testify, as he is tried for 16 impeachment articles, each of which he pleaded through an attorney. The bad news for Paxton, though, his multiple motions to exclude evidence or throw out charges were shot down by overwhelming and bipartisan votes.
No, nay, no.
In Austin, I'm Jason Wheeler.
And as Jason mentioned, senators rejected all of Paxton's efforts to dismiss those articles of impeachment against him. And how those senators voted could be an early indicator of just how willing Republicans are to remove a fellow Republican from office. 6 of those GOP senators supported every motion to dismiss, including Tan Parker of Flower Mound. 5 Republicans, including Brian Birdwell of Granbury, voted in favor of at least one motion to dismiss. The 7 remaining Republicans, Kelly Hancock of North Richland Hills, in that group, voted with all 12 Democrats against each motion. Now, Paxton's wife, Angela, was in that Senate chamber yesterday. She's a state senator, so she can be there listening to testimony and deliberations, but she will not be allowed to vote on her husband's guilt or innocence. WFAA's live streaming coverage of this trial continues this morning, kicking off at 8:30. Investigative reporter Tanya Eiserer and a panel of political experts giving us insight and analysis into this testimony. And you can watch at home on WFAA Plus or on the go at our website, WFAA.com.